Hey folks, I'm now sitting in front of the HDI BD Prime 3.0, but know that this tutorial will work just as fine for the base unit. So what I'm going to show you is how we create an SMB or NFS mapping on the HDI players. Now, we're going to cheat the system just a little bit and start off with NFS, and you'll notice whenever we cheat the system. So we're just going to click on the network browser, and this is where we cheat the system. We're just going to tell it we're going to make an SMB mapping. While it isn't true, we're just going to turn it around into an NFS later on. So we just make an SMB mapping. We select a work group that contains our NAS servers and PCs, and we're just going to click on the NAS server here. Select the share that we want to share, click on the pop-up menu button on the remote control and add to main screen. And this is where we're going to tell the system that it doesn't concern SMB mapping but NFS. So we just change SMB to NFS, and right below there we're just gonna change UDP into TCP. You can leave it if you prefer UDP. I just simply stick with TCP. So okay, if we go back to the main page now, we can see that we have mapped MPD on Anaconda using NFS. However, I already know that this share will not work, and I'm going to show you that it fails. Say, we cannot access the network folder. The reason is very simple. If you select the icon and click on the pop-up menu again, you can edit network folder. Now, instead of using the Anaconda, which is the server name, we have to enter the IP address. And I'm going to do this quickly. So this is over and done with. It's 192.168.112. Now always enter IP addresses like this, because I don't like to text message and switch between characters and whatever. I just hate how inconvenient entering IP addresses is with media players in general, though it's not just HDI. So we have now entered the IP address instead of the server name. We click on OK, and I'll show you that it actually works this time. So this could be the frustration of many failing NFS connection, because they use the server name instead of the IP address. Now for the SMB mapping, it's actually the same thing, only we're not going to change anything this time. So we're just going to network browser again, select SMB, enter our work group, select the Anaconda, which is our NAS server, select the share, click on the pop-up menu, add to main screen, and here we can actually see that everything is connected for SMB. In our case, we have enabled public access or guest access, which means we don't have to use a user account or a password. In case you don't have configured your share to be publicly open, you must enter a username and a password here. So we're just going to click OK, and then go back to the top menu, and here you can see that we have the MPD on Anaconda over NFS and the MPD on Anaconda over SMB. The only problem here is that you can't actually see a difference between the two. So just to show you that it works, here is MPD on Anaconda over SMB, and we can actually start navigating our media content and play it back on the Dune player. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. See you next time.